Hello and welcome back. How you doing today? Welcome back, reptile enthusiasts. Once again, I'm Ryan, and what we're going to do today, another wonderful day in Canada. It's mid-November. We got a nice blanket of snow the other day, and it hasn't left, and it probably will not leave until March or April. That being said, we can enjoy the weather inside and enjoy our nice cold-blooded friends. So last episode, we went over lesser bee. Yes, lesser bee, and then before that was Superfly. Now with those two there, we need names. I'm firing these videos off one after the other right now, so I haven't had a chance to go into comments. I'm going to post them shortly thereafter. I tape them right now. This one will probably be posted on Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. Either way, anyhow, put the name suggestions for the last two in the comments below. If you have not seen those, please check out my previous two videos. The last one was on, once again, the lesser bee. We were looking for a name. Absolutely beautiful girl. And the one before that was the Superfly, which is another beautiful girl, just completely different colorations. Sorry, my dog just knocked the computer there. He's getting a little excited. Yeah, we'll take the top names there and we'll do a bit of a survey. If not, if you guys fire off a really good name that tends to suit the snake, I might just take that right off the fly. Without further ado, who I have here with me is Eevee. This is Eevee, our albino female. Now, Eevee was acquired with all the other females we have, the later bunch. They're the larger ones. Not all the other females, my correction. All the older snakes we have. She is just an albino. She was named by my daughter, and she is my daughter's favorite snake right now. Now, if you look at her, absolutely phenomenal coloration coming down. Nice bright white, nice bright yellows. Should be able to appreciate the color there. And as with all albinos, because of the lack of pigmentation, beautiful, beautiful red eyes. Look like rubies. Absolutely gorgeous snake. And again, she has a very, very calm demeanor like all the snakes we have, with the exception of Sword on time to time. Again, Sword's been really good for the last couple months, but when I first got her, she's a bit of a pain. But yeah, she's coming along really well right now. Eevee here. She weighs about 600 grams. And she is an eating machine. A couple times I fed, and a lot of the guys didn't want to feed. A few of them were going through shed. And the other ones just didn't want to eat. And I had extra mice, so she ended up, or correction, the small rats there. So she ended up eating two of them. I fed her the one, she took it no problem. Then I tried feeding the other guys, nobody wanted to eat. I looked at her, she was done eating, and figured I'd offer her one more kick at the can there if she wanted to eat a bit more food, and instantaneously she went right after that as well. I'm not an advocate of power feeding, and I'm not going to do that regularly, but I'd rather that than throw out the food. Because once you thaw a rat out, you don't want to refreeze it and try it again. You just want to use it the one time and go from there. So if you do have multiple snakes, like myself, I have 11 ball pythons right now. So when I feed, I'll usually thaw out about 7 rats-ish, and then go from there. And then if they all eat, I might thaw out another 1 or 2 and go from there. But I don't want to thaw out all 12 because, or correction, 11, because the chances of them all eating are pretty slim. Sometimes you get ones that double up, especially some of the larger ones there, like the lesser bee. She's a phenomenal eater, as well as Superfly. They eat really well. And yeah, especially right now as well. Actually, on that topic, initially I was not going to bring Eevee out. I was going to bring out Cinnamon, which is the largest female I have. She's about 3,000 grams, just over. But I paired her up with Gold, and right now they're in lock. They were in lock this morning. Right now I can barely kind of see the tails, but they're both really, really close, and I don't want to bother them right now. I don't want to interrupt them at all. I want them to continue copulating. Once I see them separated, I will separate them again, and I'll have Cinnamon up on this channel to show you the largest female I have. She's a proven breed, but I'll get into more information on her as it comes. Sorry there, I'm not even showing the snake. So once again, this is Eevee. She's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful albino. Now with Eevee here, she's obviously far too light to breed. She's young. But in the next year or so, maybe 2 years, but next year, if she keeps eating the way she's eating and growing the way she's growing, I'll be able to put her in the breeding cycle. Now, the breeding cycle with the albino, whatever you breed it with, it's just going to carry the albino genes as heterozygous. So you won't see the albino genes unless you breed it with something else that has an albino gene in it. So the offspring will just hold the recessive gene, and you'll have to do another season afterwards in order to show it. So that being said, if you guys want to let me know what kind of snakes you would like me to see out of my collection, or possibly ones I can obtain in the spring, a male, or possible offspring we get to breed with Eevee here in the future, let me know. Right now, as per almost everything else ball python, I'm thinking pied because I am a huge fan of pie balls and leucistics and some of the super formations like the super phantoms and the super cinnamons. But with Eevee here, I'm thinking a nice, beautiful piebald albino would be a good change right there. And if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Now, again, I mentioned the issue with breeding her with the pieball. Say I breed her with Omaha. Piebald gene is recessive. The albino gene is recessive. So if I bred them, I would have a bunch of recessive snakes that would look either, well, they would look normal basically, and just hold the genes for the potentially for the albino and potentially for the piebald, and then you'd have to breed those offsprings to prove them out to see what they have. So with her, it's going to be a longer future project, a little bit of time, but I don't mind at all having this beautiful girl sitting around. My daughter sure as heck doesn't mind having her around. She loves Eevee here. This is her favorite snake of the bunch. Every day when she gets home from school, she wants to hold Eevee and take her out of her enclosure, which isn't a problem. The only times I don't really let her handle is once you feed a snake, I like to give it about 24 hours before any kind of handling because you don't want to upset them. You really don't want a snake to regurgitate its food. It can damage the esophagus area by putting some of the stomach acids through that area. So if it does regurgitate, you got to give it a few days prior to getting it to feed again to let the damage heal itself up prior to you feeding it again. I believe you'd want to wait probably about a week or two prior to feeding them again. That being said, I haven't had a snake regurgitate. I've been lucky. A little bit of lucky, a little bit of good practice. Because again, you don't want to feed them and be handling them, which I'll get into more in further videos, but that's one of the reasons as well I don't like the idea of feeding in a separate enclosure. I'll do a video on feeding after I've introduced all the beautiful, beautiful pythons we have. But anyhow, and the other time is when she's in shed or in blue. When her eyes get really foggy, I try to avoid handling them then because it's sensory deprivation basically. It's taking away one of the senses they have, the vision, and they get a little bit grumpy, some snakes, when they're going in a shed. So if you can leave them alone for that time, it's the best option you have. And once again, here is Eevee. Actually, I will be back in one moment. In Juno's video, I had her out and she was going to go into shed. She actually is going, or had finished her shed yesterday. So I'm going to go get her. I'll be back in one moment. In the meantime, say bye to Eevee. All right, hey, how's it going? I just put Eevee back in her enclosure and I picked up Juno. Now, as you saw that a couple days ago, about a week ago, the video I did with Juno, she was in blue, she was in shed, so her coloration was a little darker. If you look now, you actually see the vibrance. A little darker there, it goes into a nice bright yellow to white. Absolutely gorgeous coloration. Absolutely gorgeous snake, and I'm just going to show her eyes right quick, if I can get her to look in the camera. And you see the beautiful green coloration she has in her eyes. Absolutely gorgeous snake. Now she is so stunning. I can't wait to get into a breeding project with her. I just got to find what kind of male I'd like to breed her with in the future. There's no rush on it though because she is really small. Well, especially compared to the rest of the snakes I have right now. But she definitely needs some time to grow. She's very, very tiny right now. Absolutely beautiful little snake though. No problems at all with Juno. But anyhow, I just wanted to show you that because in that video I did say I was going to show you Juno once she comes out of shed. There she is, a couple days out of shed, doing very well. Actually, she came out of shed not yesterday, it was the day before, yeah, 2 days ago. And with that, oh sorry there a bit. With that, I fed her right after as well, and she ate no problem, so she's doing really well that way. But again, in the meantime, like I mentioned, I'm going to try to have Cinnamon up here next. I just got to wait and see when she stops mating with Gold. And I'll introduce you to her, see what kind of prospects we have in the future. And she's about full size, so you'll see the full size of a ball python with her. They may get a little bit girthier than her, but not much longer, and she's tipping past 3,000 grams, so she's a good sized girl. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. It's fantastic to have you following us. If you haven't seen my previous videos, please go back, watch them. You can follow us along through the day by day. In the meantime, again, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Right, Juno? Say bye.